All right, let's get in on this. I think somebody was talking here in this community on extreme tips. So I want to show you something today. And I didn't know where to start. I didn't even know where to stop. Extreme tips. I'm going to make my shot at it. But I'm going to show you just some groupings here. Not too many. Just a handful of groups of different styles that I just sort of snatched up, and the tips were extreme to me. So take a look at this. Now you can pause it from out there and see what these groups are going to be, and we're going to just check these groups out and sort of going around about. I think I'll go clockwise. But look at these tips. Like I said, I didn't know where to start. I didn't know where to stop. To me, they're all extreme tips on extreme points. I mean, there's things like this that are well close to 3.5, 4 inches. And then, therefore, the tip is extreme. Not much damage. Now, this is probably the worst tip out here, but I'm telling you what, there's no worst when it comes to a Guilford like that on a round base, or a Guilford like this on a round base. There's no nothing that's not extreme about that. I mean, that's just a good looking set of points just to begin the extreme tips. Now, Flintsball, I mean, you have some points that are devastatingly awesome. So take a look at some of these tips, and just for you guys out there that love tips, I'm trying to get the tips together because I never really even thought about extreme tips, and give you a close-up on some of these. Just incredible stuff. I don't know how close it will focus, but these are all extreme tips to me on extreme points. And the variety here in Eastern North Carolina, I think I've heard it from a lot of you guys, is exceptional. So that's another great group. Now look at these extreme tips right here. I'll show you the tips first, and then I'll show you what they belong to. Of course, quartz, very common here in Eastern North Carolina. Extreme tip right here on an extreme point, 3.5 inches or longer. Here's a nice blade. Nice point, very translucent. Great notch point here from the Archaic with a smoking tip. Now these are awesome tips. As we keep going around, I think we're going to see some really awesome stuff. Look at these tips, not quartz. Extreme tips. Just great stuff when we look at it. Belonging to extreme points. Now we've all found those smoking tips that really don't have any point attached to it, those heartbreakers. So these are the full points with the extreme tips. At least what I could grab up and not take too much time to be tedious about it. Just awesome, awesome stuff when it comes to the points, the tips. Here's another section as we keep this going. Look at these tips, extreme tips. Oh my goodness, this one I found not 50 yards off the back of my back door of my house, this tip right here. And talk about extreme tips, I don't know if the focus is going to work this close if I hold it real still. Just the way they wanted it. Here's a great point right here. Smoky quartz. But I told Flintsball, I said, you know, I never really even considered the aspect of an extreme tip. I mean, I've got a lot of nice tips, and I just, you know, sort of, they went into the package of just an incredible point to me. So I looked at these today in terms of the tip, and you'll see that, I mean, the whole package is awesome with points in groups like this. I mean, look at this. But extreme tips, indeed they are. I mean, look at this. I mean, jump off the page when it comes to just tips, too. Look at these tips as I get closer. Unbelievable. This one from the Archaic again. Look at this tip. All extreme. This one from the Bear. And then another one here. Actually, this one here is from the Bear. And this one here is from Hidden Hill. But nevertheless, extreme as can be. I just pulled some serrated ones. My goodness. And as we finish up here, some big big boys in extreme tips. These are some big boys, but the tips are extreme. I mean, look at this thing. This thing is 3.5 inches and solid, a solid piece. Stone passage. And this one, of course, this is common. This was just from the other day's find at W Properties. And look at this tip. I mentioned it on a different video, but it had to go with extreme tips today. I hope I'm holding this still enough. And this one, some of you guys have seen this. This is an incredible point with an extreme tip for sure, if I can hold it still enough. And it belongs to this. It is ground and smooth as can be off the back of this. Extreme tips, right? This is the other side of it, which is just as sweet as the front or back, whichever one it is. But all in all, there's those tips right there of these big boys. Those are extreme. So like I said, I didn't know where to start, where to stop. So we'll stop at the same place we began, which is these extreme tips of these small ones, size of a nickel. Oddly enough, these two are found in about the same area. Just nice looking points all together. And so at that, I just want to thank you all for tuning in to Indian Trace. And pretty cool idea, Flintsball. So I hope everybody out there is going to just keep the community going. Appreciate you tuning in, and hope you find out there.